Well, hey there. It is at this moment the Gemini new moon. The moon conjunct with the sun. That means the moon and the sun are high in the sky together, and tonight will be a moonless night. And a new moon, opportunity to set intentions. I don't know. What do you do in your new moon practice? I'm going to give you a tarot reading. That's what I'm going to do for you. So we're going to go through a 7-card tarot spread. Take or leave. This is a big collective reading. So first, a card to get an overall sense of what is going on. We get a 7 of emotions. Lots of choices, projections, fantasies. Be a little bit of a state of indecision, having trouble discerning between what's real, what's not, what's good, what's not. I feel like this is coming up lately. Trouble discerning between what's real and what is not. And underlying this is the energy of the magician. Here's you under the moon. You have all the tools. You have the sword, the wand, the cup, the pentacle, or the coin, and you have the power to manifest the world that you want to live in. That's awesome. So I want you to see how in these 2 cards we have this rainbow of possibilities, and then this kind of parallel. These feel like the same energy, and this is you coming out of indecision and using this in a purposeful, magical way. So let's see what happens when we lay out the cards. We're going to go with the Guardian of the Night. So if you look in your chart, where are the early degrees of Gemini? For example, I looked on mine, and I learned that on the moment of my birth, Gemini was absolutely opposite mid-heaven. It was at the bottom of the world, and that is the place of home. So look on your chart. Maybe I'll remember to put a link here to where you can get a free natal chart, so you can find out not only your sun sign, which is usually what we go by, but also your moon and your rising sign, and a very complicated, fascinating 28-page report on who you are. So I'm just shuffling all these cards here while I jibber jabber at you. Okay, we're going to start with the Guardian of the Night, and the first card is the past. And how recent? We will leave that up to you to decide. Okay, so in the recent past, a feeling of resistance, the 7 of Wands. This is you standing with yourself against the crowd. I see that white stag in the background. That is, well, we will find out about that white stag, I hope. Okay, in the present, we see you in your head, insomnia, anxiety, protecting this little sleepy head, staying up all night. What the tarot wants you to know, what is hidden from you, is an Ace of Pentacles, a real beginning in the 3D. It is informed by an owl, which often comes in with swords, with truth. But this is a beautiful something that is blooming. It may be that you're not aware of that at this moment. You're up in your head. You're in resistance, you're up in your head, but there's something coming in, right? So we can see this here. This reiterates this being up in your head, and then this sort of powerful Ace of Pentacles energy. You, in this reading, appear waiting in temperance. 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water. Trying to find the right balance between the emotional and the practical. people around you. 9 of Wands. There are people around you who have been struggling. They have learned from struggle. This porcupine pricked the fox. Or the porcupine is exhausted from holding off the fox. It's that kind of feeling. It feels like struggle with another. And the porcupine quills are coming in here as wands, but they're also reminding me of the other 9 in the reading, which is the present sense, the 9 of swords, present sense of anxiety. So we have 2 9s here, the 2 difficult 9s. Your overall advice for this reading, this goes with what you're doing, how you're coming in as temperance. There is a waiting here, a waiting for insight. The hanged man, you hang upside down until you see things in a new way. And that's definitely this shift, right, that we saw from the very beginning, from confusion to power. To power. That is a shift, a perspective that comes with seeing things in a way that you haven't been seeing them before. There's a lot of that tension here between a kind of negative fear-based perception where you're defended, where you're anxious, into a openness to this Ace of Pentacles, to this power. But you are definitely able and willing to wait right now. So if we think about what's happening astrologically, so Gemini energy, and the new moon is in Gemini, the sun is in Gemini. This is a fast energy, but we still have Mercury, who has gone backwards into Taurus, slower, structural, kind of, and what we understand from astrologers is that it may cause us to feel ready in our minds, or eager, but that there is a need to wait so that you do it correctly. Taurus is a lot about structure, about how you're going to do it correctly. And so Mercury, until it comes back into Gemini, is held back even in this new moon moment. The future is a decision making. This is a 2 of Swords. This is need to make a choice. It's in Gemini, so suit of air. I see this frog has decided, and notice that we have you, this frog looking back on the table into time, and this one is looking forward. So you are currently reflecting on the past, and then we see you in the future making a decision based on the new insights that have come in and moving forward. That's interesting, Mercury retrograde kind of feeling of looking backwards. And then very quickly, Mercury's only retrograde for, I think it's about 6 weeks. Check my work on that. This is a quick backwards and then cover that ground again. Reflecting on a recent communication, thought, something in the realm of air, of ideas. So at the very least, we see you making a decision, having had a period of waiting and reflecting. And that is what we will look into here in this reading. Underlying energy in this deck is the Lovers. There's that decision. Right? This is a decision. And this is a decision. This is a big decision. I always also feel Temperance here is causing you to seek balance. So in this Lovers card, the artist represents the Lovers as scorpions. So it makes us think about death. And also we see the moth that beats itself against the light, can get highly distracted. We see the caduceus, healing. What she tells us is that the scorpions are doing this dance. And a scorpion may choose this lover or kill this other, rejecting that lover. And that is why the Lovers is a choice. It's an extremely scary opportunity to join with the one that is your equal in heart, mind, body, soul. And that is why it's a difficult choice, that many say no to this choice. Okay, So let's clarify. Got the dark tarot wanting to clarify, and we have the terrify. I like that. Tarot-fi. Little Page of Wands wants to jump out. A little clear perspective. So the outsider's viewpoint is in play here. That's definitely what the Hangman and Temperance might cause you to see things from an outside viewpoint. You've been living within, and now you must look at it from the outside. But let's see. So in the recent past, we see you in resistance, in integrity too, right? So I'm really curious about that white stag. What's going on here? Because we have the Seven of Cups as our big overlying card, that stag could be an illusion. It's a concept, it's an idea. You're emotionally invested in it. You're exerting your will in defense of it. I notice in the water with these other alligators or crocodiles, I see these lilies. In this deck, the lilies represent the cups. They represent love. So I feel like you are resisting love because of some concept, this ideal of this stag in your mind. Take or leave that. So this is your past. So let's see what the Dark Tarot wants to add to this. So we have Five of Cups. This is loss, grief. It's a Scorpio card. We just had a full moon in Scorpio and an eclipse here. Yeah, I see how this alignment with the raven here, and then this defendedness, like she's wearing like claws, like it makes me think of Wolverine in X-Men. Right. So in a Five of Cups, there's a focus on loss, and you can turn and look towards that Two of Cups, right, which I was reminded of by these two lilies, but instead you're defended against it, is what I'm gathering here in the recent past. Also, an Eight of Pentacles, doing your work. This is a deck demanded to be used, so the imagery is important. So we see the snake charmer here. She is skilled. She is charming the cobra here. We see the pentacle at the center, which makes us think about this pentacle coming in. So there it is here. So that's what's hidden. It looks like from the past, like this is a structure of an old civilization that we're in the ruins of, an old civilization. The snake charmer. And thirdly, the sun. Happiness, authenticity, that winged capacity to fly. So this is you in the past. You have been defending your ideal of the sun. You've put a lot of work into this, a lot of power and inspiration. But in some way, it has left you empty in a Five of Cups state. And so let's find out more about what you're doing now. Looks like you're in anxiety, right? So again, we see you protecting something, the little one. But this protecting of this is the white stag here. This is the concept that's appearing in this card in the past, and you are still protecting it. Although you have really taken it into your arms in a way. This is a different kind of the polar bear versus the alligator. It's maternal in nature. It's keeping you up. So let's see. What else is going on here? The Six of Pentacles, another embrace. We can see the blonde embracing the demon. Six of Pentacles. This is a card of generosity. One has something to give, the other needs to be given to, needs to receive. I see that same embrace. The demon here that is being embraced, they're very different, right? They're both winged. They're both winged beings. One is in pain and one is golden like the sun. It's very powerful imagery here. Okay, second, the Magician, right? We have seen this before. This is you in power, able to manifest the world that you want to live in. You seem quite powerful and aware of your power right now, but it's causing you to be alert and awake and on guard at the present. And then we also see here another image, again, of you in power. Justice, the warrior. You're defending justice here. This is what you are doing. You have really bought in to an idea, this white stag, and then in the past. It's not a very relaxing way of living, this awakeness to a battle. It feels like it's about justice. It's about knowing your power, that you're the big grown-up and that you have a responsibility here. Okay. So what the tarot wants you to know is, as you go about what is quite heroic, is there is a new beginning here, an Ace of Pentacles. What I'm kind of feeling coming in from this card is that you have underestimated some other power that is from Earth, Pentacles, and you have, perhaps this will help you to let go a little bit. You seem like you're in a fight, and you've forgotten that you have this ally in the Earth here. Okay. There's Death, card of transformation. And sometimes, like you're going to have to lose the battle in order to get to the new place that you need to be in. But let's find out more here. A Four of Pentacles. There is control. The small world view. This is coming up in all the readings, that everybody seems to be grabbing hold of what little they have out of fear of having nothing, and that this needs to be transformed, because this is an abundant world that we live in, right? That is signaled by what the tarot wants you to know. There is plenty. Look at this beautiful flower, this owl representing truth, and all of this light here. Thirdly, we get the Hermit. You going alone, going to your inner wisdom. Card of Virgo. We've got Virgo and Scorpio here. That is my dog barking. He's very savage. Normally I would whistle at him, but I'm not going to do that to you. Just a neighbor walking by. Okay, so what the tarot wants you to know is that you do have wisdom within you. Like, we can see this. I think it's important to see this figure is mirrored here in the water. All of this light. And because when it's a new moon and we have that dark night, okay, excuse me. Hey! Okay, now he'll come in all rowdy. So we have this dark night, right? The dark night of the soul, death. When the moon is up right now in the middle of the day with the sun, we have the dark night with no moon. You can see all of the stars at night. You can anyway, but without a moon, you can extra see all of that light in the night. It feels like to your inner wisdom. I see. So when you're looking into yourself, like with all of your resources, and when you're overly dependent on yourself and what you know, you're ending up in a situation where you're in control, right? And this needs to die. Death is here, right? You need to, in some way, surrender and acknowledge a power that is outside of you. Because with you alone fighting this battle, you are exhausted. So let's find out. So here you are, you querent as Temperance, which is our Sagittarius card, if that means anything to you. So let's see. We have a full moon in Sagittarius in a couple weeks. So this new moon in Gemini, and then it'll be full in Sagittarius. So that makes sense to me. To me, there's something about this that's making me think of the full moon. And here with our little froggy in Temperance, there's that full moon. Okay, so we have a change of mind, 6 of Swords. Swords being your mind, air. And so we've got the Hangman ahead as your advice. Temperance is alchemizing your emotions, the water, the earth. I'm looking at this Temperance card here. We can see the cup of water. I also see a feather, which makes me think of air, Gemini. So that, there is a changing of mind in the 6 of Swords. That seems clear to me. We need to release some concept, this white stag, this polar bear cub that you've been defending. There's a 3 of Swords. The reason you're defending this is a broken heart of some kind, in which in a 3 of Swords being your mind, there's betrayal. It is difficult to let go of it. You may be obsessing about this. It's a very difficult place to leave a 3 of Swords. Heart and mind are not in alignment. So when I see that cup and that feather, that's your heart and your mind. This is what you're alchemizing right now. It's as if you are aware that you are living from a place of pain, and that you really do actually want to move from one way of thinking into a new way of thinking. What do we have here? And this is the 2 of Swords. So this is where you're headed, right? This is the future, the 2 of Swords, that decision. Oh, okay. That seems very clear to me. Much of this energy is the Swords. It makes sense. We have air, Gemini, air, so new moon in Gemini. It makes a lot of sense. So people around you, or person, coming in as a 9 of Wands. This is somebody who has been engaged in struggle. I noticed that you have justice here as a part of your present. The sense of justice, the sense of needing to fight on the side of justice. And I feel like this is possibly coming in through your connection to this 9 of Wands, this conflict between the fox and the porcupine. I feel like it's this porcupine, right? And you feel very protective of this little porcupine, even though she's quite capable of protecting herself with her quills. The fox has learned the hard way. You don't go biting porcupines twice, I'm going to guess. Unless you're very, very hungry. Yeah, and we do have like hunger and equity, right? So we saw the Six of Pentacles here, this kind of saviorism. Really trying to rescue and save? Is that something that you've been doing? You might have got hurt, and so then you're focusing on others. That can be a way of going about things. So you become like the protector, and then you become overly responsible. The tarot says that you alone are not enough. It's a small world when it's just you as the hero of it. And so you need to let that die and receive help from what I feel is the planet. But let's see. Let us see about these other people. Other people. There is a Knave of Pentacles. They are bringing in this offer. So it looks like the people around you who have struggled, who are wise from struggle, they can bring some help. It's that Ace of Pentacles, right? They bring it. We also see the Queen of Swords. Real clarity, an ability to cut out what is not working. That's like the sword that justice carries, right? Like you're in, you're out. This works, this doesn't. That's what the Queen of Swords is great at. And she does that from wisdom. Nine of Wands is a place where you've been in struggle. Wands, your willpower, fire. The Queen of Swords has a wisdom of struggle too. It's just a little bit colder feeling. And again, it's air. It's Gemini energy. And thirdly, a Ten of Wands. So this is the card that follows the Nine of Wands, which is coming in here. This is the Quit Your Job card. Put down the burden. You have finished the wand. Your friend here, the people in your life, they have finished the Wands cycle. You have good people around you. So this idea that you have to do things alone, up in your own head, like a hermit, you can let this go. They're saying, I've got you, I'm with you here. You definitely want to be working with this person or people. They're the ones that are bringing you this Ace of Pentacles. So look to the people that this Nine of Wands brings you up. They look tired. They have been struggling. They've been doing the same work that you've been doing. Okay? They have clarity and wisdom, and they will help you put down this burden. And I feel like you'll also help them put down the burden. I feel like there's an inequality that is a burden, and that this can be released. But let's see. The advice is the Hanged Man. This is more waiting until you see things in a new way. And the possum is hanging above the briar patch, which is in bloom. It is roses blooming. And the possum is inspired. You can see the halo of light. Okay. With the Hangman, the Knave of Swords, young, open-minded, curious energy. So I feel like this is basically with the Hangman. It says, keep an open mind. We also see here the Ten of Pentacles. The Earth again, Taurus energy, where our Mercury is before coming into Gemini. There's that Sword of Truth. It's very much about security, the 3D, the world. And third card that fell out, The Nine of Wands, again, this is your other people. Okay, here's the Nine of Wands, right? It's the same as our porcupine. So this is a part of your advice here of the Hangman. Yeah, it is, keep an open mind. You've been feeling like you're the only protector of the kingdom, but you actually have help from a Nine of Wands here. The people or person around you, it's an ally. It actually seems to be like the one you think you're protecting, the little cub, the little stag. That's an idea, but it's also, it's almost like you're doing, like, you need to release the idea that you're responsible and you're the savior. In fact, you need to notice that you have allies and you need to be open to their ideas. And then we see you in the future, in this Two of Swords, having made a decision, chosen a new idea. I feel like it's a new idea. You're looking forward to the future on the... So there's the Ten of Swords. So remember, you had the Three of Swords. This is pain. This is also quite painful, but it's the end of a sword cycle. You are dead. It is over. This, I feel, is the stag here. In the past, the concept that you agreed to defend. I think this is very uncomfortable to give this idea up. But once you quit defending this idea, whatever this idea it may be, because we have this new moon in Gemini, it makes sense to me that we're seeing so many swords, so many ideas. The Dark Tarot puts swords in every card. So here you have Let It Die, right? And this resonates with this one. She says, you can put this burden down, Ten of Wands. So Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands, something that you've been very committed to, you're letting go of. And you'll be relieved because, and this is, I think, the sword that the frog turns her back on as she goes forward here. What else in the future? The Nine of Cups. There is wish fulfillment, emotional fulfillment in and of yourself. And the King of Cups, which it's like a monster, but the King of Cups, she is the King of Cups. She is these I think are her emotions, and she contains them. She does not open up about her emotions, the King of Cups. You could read the monster as the King of Cups. It's coming into me right now as this woman figure. She is intelligent emotionally, but she's also contained emotionally. She has big feelings, right? So let's see. It looks to me like in the future, as you choose to let go of this old concept, right? There's some kind of projection going on, right? And you need to let go of it. And when you let go of it, you become quite powerful, right? You become content in the Nine of Cups, and you become a king in your kingdom who is able to take your feelings, right? We've seen the conflict that you're currently in between your heart, represented by the cup, and the feather, the swords that we've seen all over in this Gemini new moon reading. That once you find that balance, you find this alliance, that the person that you thought you were protecting is in fact your ally and has a way of helping you release this burden and move forward from this old hierarchical way of seeing things. That there is wish fulfillment and there is an emotional clarity and intelligence that is lacking in your posture of resistance. That is you up in your head playing the hero but exhausted by it. Your counterpart or your community is also exhausted. And so it appears to me that the kingdom becomes peaceful as you find this collaboration. It's mutually peaceful. As you find a new framework, a new paradigm for going forward as a collective. And this is when you have the magician's power to manifest the world that you want to see. It's not so straight. It's not so white. It's a rainbow, mixed up, beautiful world that you manifest together. So one last thing, let's check what's at the bottom here of our Dark Tarot. There's one card. It is the 10 of Cups. This is you in emotional community. Very powerful. You have the truth. You're in that blue dress that is authenticity. It's a beautiful new day, right? We've seen several 10s. 10 of Wands. We've seen the 10 of Swords. We've actually also seen the 10 of Pentacles. Where was that? Yeah, we've got all the 10s here. There's something that is complete, right? And then as the tarot tells you, there's something new coming in, a new beginning. It feels like an earth beginning. And it feels like it has to do with moving out of hierarchy into collaboration, out of saviorism into partnership. And that it brings in a very beautiful new day here. So that is your new moon in Gemini reading. I hope this is true. It's beautiful, and I hope this helps you shift from what appears to be quite exhausting and lonely into partnership and collaboration, out of hierarchy and into what is a very emotionally fulfilling place, out of your mind and into your heart. It's a heart that is wise. It is the union of heart and mind that we see here. So good luck on your journey, and I will see you at the next collective reading. All right, have a beautiful day. Let me turn this off.